So this motor was actually inside of the bus when we bought it. It was just like a passenger. So the first thing we did was make sure that everything was good on the motor before we put it in. There's a new clutch installed. It actually has a new gas tank and a ton of new parts. And it's very reliable. We actually had an electronic ignition installed, and that got us about 9,000 miles, and then we started having an intermittent jerking, and we put it right back to points, and we got the last 3,000 miles home without a problem. So I'm just leaving it on the stock ignition system. I always carry like a spare coil, but I found a brand that doesn't seem to fail, so I have 2 of those now. And yeah, we've got a brand new battery and alternator and starter, and the only thing that's different about this motor, it is a 79 bus, and the casing says that it's a 79 motor, but it has been rebuilt before we got it, and judging that we were driving at about 75 miles an hour, that's 4,000 RPM, sustained for hours on end, and the engine didn't blow up, the rebuild was pretty good. But the only thing to note about it is when they did the rebuild, they put on new cylinder heads, and they used 1974 style adjustable valves. So this does not have hydraulic valves like the 79s normally do. But adjusting the valves is actually a good thing to be able to do. It's just a part of maintenance, and it's not hard. A little bit of oil leaks, obviously, from the engine, just because of the age and it's sitting and whatever, but it's so little that we just throw a board down, and the few drops that we get per day, are hardly enough to soil this. And I think, would I drive this to California right now? Absolutely. You just got to keep an eye on everything. You got to check the oil every day, and beyond that, I mean, it's pretty solid. You just keep an eye on everything, and that's what we did on our trip. And we were never stranded. We never had to get a tow, and it started up every morning, and yeah. So another cool thing, if you ever leave the lights on, because you have the deep cycle batteries on the left and you got the starter battery on the right, you can take your jumper cables and go from those batteries to this battery and start the car. I've done it a few times. And the last thing is just the muffler. There's really only one muffler you can buy for this engine right now. Trying to get the stock catalytic converter and muffler on there is virtually impossible to source. I've tried. So there is no catalytic converter. However, it did pass New Jersey emissions inspection for a curb idle test. So it does run pretty clean. And you also get the free-flowing exhaust, which gives you a lot more power on the high end. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a tuned muffler. We'll start it up for you and you can hear it run.